The red sky of planet Karnos was full of thunder. Dark clouds moved fast over the mountains. The wind screamed like a warning. Inside the military base, alarms were ringing. Soldiers ran through the halls, shouting commands. Captain Lyra Vorn stood on the edge of the launch deck, her eyes fixed on the sky. A ship was flying away, small, silver, fast. It was disappearing into the storm. She had done something dangerous. Something that could destroy her life. She had helped someone escape. Someone the government wanted dead. His name was Commander Kale Drace. 6 years ago, Kale was blamed for a terrible explosion that killed hundreds. The army said it was his fault. But Lyra knew the truth. He was innocent. He had found something dangerous about the people in power. Before he could speak out, they tried to silence him. So Lyra made a choice. She gave him a ship. She risked everything now. The door behind her opened with a loud bang. "Lyra!" A voice shouted. "They know! You helped him! They're coming for you!" But Lyra didn't move. She didn't answer. Her eyes stayed on the sky. Then the scene fades to black. 6 years later, year 2435. The space around Earth was quiet, silent, peaceful. Inside an old satellite control room, a young technician was half asleep at his desk. The screens blinked. Slowly, then suddenly, a small red light flashed on one screen. A strange sound came from the speakers. Ping, ping, ping. The technician sat up. "What is that?" he whispered. He checked the data. A signal, a very old signal. From a very far place. A place no ship had returned from, the Black Void. He ran to his commander. At the same time, far away in a quiet space station, Lyra Vorn was working alone in a repair room. She was no longer a captain. Now she was just an engineer. Low rank. No power, quiet life. She lived in silence. But her mind was never quiet. She thought about him. About Kale, about what happened. About what she had done. And about how he never came back. Suddenly, a message alert blinked on her tablet. Incoming classified signal decoding name. Kale Delrai. Lyra froze. Her hands trembled. Her heart started beating fast. She opened the file. It was short, broken, but real. "Lyra, if you get this, I'm still alive. I'm in the void. Not much time. They lied to us. Don't trust." The message cut off. She stared at the screen. No one came back from the Black Void. Ever. Was it real? Was he really alive? Or was this a trap? She closed the tablet, looked around the empty room, then locked the door. That night, Lyra walked through the dark hallways of the station. She had taken an old ID badge and a stolen access code. If they caught her, she would be locked away forever. Maybe worse. She reached Dock 9. A small scout ship was there, rusty, old, but it could fly. She climbed inside and sat in the pilot seat. Her hands hovered over the controls. She took a deep breath, then whispered, "I'm coming, Kale." The ship lifted from the dock and disappeared into the stars. Last seen, unknown location in the void, in the darkness of space. A small piece of metal floated. It was broken, burnt, lost, but inside a weak light blinked. A figure moved in the shadows. Face unseen. Eyes glowing, he pressed a button. Another signal was sent. A whisper echoed in the silence. "She's coming." There's no sound in the dead zone. No stars. No light, just black. Lyra sat in the pilot's chair of her small scout ship. Eyes locked on the growing shadow ahead. The entrance to the Black Void. It looked like space had been ripped open. Like something massive had taken a bite out of the stars. She had not slept in 3 days. Her eyes were tired, her hands shaking slightly as she held the controls, but her mind was sharp. Focused. The signal had repeated once every 24 hours. Always. The same broken words, always ending in silence. "Lyra, still alive? Don't trust?" The rest was lost in static. She didn't care. It was him. She could feel it. Flashback -6 years ago, they had been soldiers once, Kale and Lyra. Partners. Friends, maybe more. Kale had trusted her with a secret, a hidden mission. Files the government had erased, truth no one wanted to hear. That night, he had looked her in the eyes and said, "If I don't make it, promise you won't come after me." She had lied, back to present, outside the void, The ship began to shake as it reached the edge of the void. Instruments blinked red. Gravity sensors failed. Compass spun wildly. Her ship's AI voice crackled. Warning, spatial field unstable. Entry not recommended, Lyra muttered. Yeah, I know. She tightened her seatbelt, pushed the throttle, and dove in. Inside the black void, everything changed. The stars vanished. Light bent strangely. Time felt slow. Or maybe too fast. Lyra's breath caught in her throat. Her ears rang. Her memories flickered. Her mother's voice, her first day as a cadet, Kale's laughter. All flashing in seconds. Something was wrong with this place. It wasn't just empty. It was watching her. Suddenly her screen blinked. Unknown ship detected, docking in progress. What? She gasped, hitting buttons to stop the connection. But it was too late. A large black ship appeared from the shadows. No signal. No lights. Silent. It moved like a ghost and locked onto her ship. The door to her side airlock hissed open. She grabbed her blaster. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. Mysterious. Stranger board Z. A man stepped into view. His face hidden behind a cracked helmet. He raised both hands slowly. No need to shoot, he said. His voice was calm, cold. You're here for Kale, aren't you? Lyra didn't lower the gun. Who are you? I was with him. Until the station swallowed him, she narrowed her eyes. Swallowed? He went deeper. Into something ancient. It's not a station anymore. It's alive. It changed him. Lyra's heart pounded. Where is he now? The man pulled out a small device, an old recording unit. Before he vanished, he left this. For you. He placed it on the table and stepped back. Kale's message, recovered recording. The recording began. Kale's face appeared, dirty, bruised, older. Lyra, if you found this, then I'm probably gone. Or worse, if you come after me, be careful. This place. It shows you things. You won't know what's real, he paused. His voice cracked. But if anyone could find me, it's you. Static. The video ended. Lyra stood still, her mind racing. The stranger turned. The path to him lies through the core of the dead zone, but nothing comes out the same. Before she could speak, he stepped back into the airlock and disappeared into his ship. His final words echoed in her ears. He's not the same anymore. And neither will you be. Final scene, Lyra alone again. Lyra looked at the black path ahead. A strange light flickered far in the distance. Like a heartbeat, she took a deep breath. I came this far. I'm not stopping now. The ship turned toward the core, into the dark and the void. Waited. Opening scene. A memory that shouldn't exist. Lyra was standing in her old academy dorm room. Outside the window, the sky was golden. The twin moons hung low over the trees. Kale was sitting at the edge of her bed, smiling. You were late, he teased. She laughed. You always say that. He reached out and touched her hand. You should never come after me. Lyra, she looked at him, confused. This already happened, didn't it? Kale's eyes turned dark. The light flickered. Suddenly his voice changed, deeper, wrong. You're not supposed to be here. The room shattered like glass. Lyra gasped awake, her hands gripping the ship controls. Sweat dripped down her neck. She was back in the cockpit, alone. The void was playing with her mind now. Seen, inside the void's edge. Her ship drifted near a ruined satellite field. Broken machines, floating bodies, signals that whispered. In dead languages. In the distance, a giant structure like a station but twisted. Its walls pulsed like veins. That's where she had to go. That's where Kale had vanished. But first, she needed answers, and she knew who might have them. The stranger, seen, docking with the stranger's ship. The black ship was still there. Quiet, almost hidden among the wreckage, Lyra floated toward. It, armed with her blaster and a pulse scanner. The door opened for her, as if it was waiting. Inside. The ship was cold and silent. Strange drawings marked the walls. Symbols she didn't recognize. She found him sitting in the dark, face still covered by his cracked helmet. I didn't think you'd come back, he said without turning. You knew Kale? Tell me everything. Lyra demanded. He didn't move. You won't believe me. Try me. He slowly turned to face her. Dialogue revelation begins. He was part of something bigger, the stranger began. He found a signal no one else could hear. It wasn't human. Lyra's eyes narrowed. You mean alien? No, worse, something from before humans, before time. She stared at him. You're insane. He stood. He followed that signal to the core of this place. The void doesn't kill you. It changes you, makes you forget who you are. Lyra felt a chill. And you followed him? The stranger nodded. I stayed on the edge. He went deeper. One day I received a message. One line. If she ever comes, tell her not to follow. Lyra's voice shook. Then why are you helping me? He stepped closer. Because he's still alive. But he's not alone. Flash warning. Power surge. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The ship shook. From the hallway. A shadow moved past the door. Fast. What was that? Lyra whispered. The stranger pulled his weapon. They followed you. Who? They look like people, but they're not. The ship's warning system crackled. Proximity alert. Biological signature unknown. The stranger grabbed a data chip from the wall and shoved it into Lyra's hand. Take this. It's a map to the core. But you must go alone. What about you? She asked. He turned, aiming his gun toward the hallway. I'm already too far gone. Escape. Lyra runs. Without a word, Lyra turned and ran back to her ship. As the airlock sealed behind her, she heard a scream, human, but twisted, then silence. Her ship launched from the stranger's vessel. Just before it exploded into fire and debris, she watched. From the window, face pale, eyes wide, he had given his life to protect the path. But why? Opening scene, a city that shouldn't exist. Lyra opened her eyes and found herself in the middle of a street, but it wasn't the void. It was Earth, or something trying to look like it. Buildings stood tall around her, no cracks, no dust. Blue sky above, birds in the air, children laughed in the distance. A soft breeze touched her face. She looked down. She was wearing her cadet uniform, brand new, no stains, no burns. Her ship gone, her gun gone. None of this was real. She whispered, Where am I? Then a familiar voice behind her. You're home, Lyra. You made it. She turned slowly. It was Kale, alive, smiling, unhurt, arms wide, but his eyes were wrong. Too perfect. Too still. Flash, system log voice from ship AI. Warning. Conscious override detected. Core environment may distort memories, identity, and perception. But the voice was distant. Like an echo in a dream, seen inside the labyrinth. Lyra ran. She ran through the streets. Every time she turned a corner, the city changed. Once, it became the academy, then a battlefield. Then her old childhood home. Everything looked real, smelled real, felt real, but it wasn't. She tried to shout for Kale again. But her voice came out like static. The buildings around her began to melt. Walls twisted into wires. Faces in the windows stared at her without blinking. One whispered, You left him behind. Scene, Memory Room 1, the last night. Suddenly, she was in the hangar again. 6 years ago. The night she helped Kale escape, she saw herself, younger, terrified, handing him the flight key. Kale grabbed her wrist. Are you sure? He asked. The younger Lyra said. Go now. I'll cover you. But something changed. The memory version of Kale let go and slowly backed away. You could have come with me, he said coldly. Why didn't you? The real Lyra whispered, That's not what happened. But the scene froze. A spotlight fell on her. And 1,000 voices whispered, You stayed behind. And let him die. Scene, Memory Room 2, the betrayal. Now she stood in a courtroom, judges in shadow, soldiers watching. Her hands cuffed, a voice thundered from above. Captain Lyra Vorn, charged with treason, for saving a war criminal, for betraying her oath. She tried to speak, but her mouth wouldn't open. Someone in the back shouted, She helped the enemy escape. She looked around. Everyone was pointing, laughing, faces she once trusted, even her father, even her younger self. Escape sequence. She breaks through. Lyra screamed. The walls cracked. The floor broke open. She fell fast into darkness. Then silence. She landed hard on a metal floor. Lights flickered on. This was different. Real. A Hallway stretched in front of her, twisted and narrow, pulsing like it was breathing. A sign above read, Core Entry Subject, KD Stasis Level, Opening Scene. The stasis chamber, the door opened with a hiss. Cold air poured out. The smell of metal and decay wrapped around Lyra. Like a blanket, she stepped inside. Slowly, carefully. The chamber was circular, black walls pulsing like a slow heartbeat. In the center, he floated. Kale Drace suspended in blue light. Eyes closed. Body still. Wires running into his spine, chest, skull. He looked like he hadn't aged. Or maybe like he had stopped being alive. Lyra's breath caught. She whispered, "Kale?" The light flickered. His eyes opened. Seeing he speaks first. Lyra. Her name in his voice, but it didn't sound right. It echoed, layered, like a second voice whispered underneath. She stepped closer. "It's really you." He blinked slowly. "You came?" A pause. "You shouldn't have." Flash, the core reacts. Suddenly the walls rippled. Voices whispered from the darkness. She came for him. Too late. He belongs to us now. Kale looked up as if listening to them. Lyra raised her voice. "We have to leave now." He didn't move. "I don't know where I end anymore." Memory leaked Kale's vision. Kale touched the glass of the chamber. It shimmered, showing fragments of his mind. The day he entered the void. The shapes that greeted him. Faceless, vast, ancient, experiments, echoes, a deal he couldn't understand, but couldn't refuse. "They kept me alive," he said softly. "But they took pieces." Lyra's voice shook. "I can fix this. I can get you out." He looked at her, not angry, not afraid, just tired. "Do you still want me if I'm not me anymore?" Twist, she doubts. Lyra hesitated only for a second, but Kale saw it. He lowered his head. "That's what I thought." The chamber's light grew dim. The heartbeat of the walls grew faster. "They won't let me go. Not without a cost." Sudden attack. The core fights back. The floor cracked. A shadow creature crawled out. No face, no voice, only Kale's shape. Like a memory turned into a monster. It lunged at Lyra. She rolled. Grabbed her sidearm, fired. Once, twice. Nothing worked. Kale screamed. Not in pain, but in fury. "Stop! That's not her enemy." He reached out. Light burst from his hand. The shadow dissolved. He collapsed inside the chamber. Final choice. She breaks the system. Lyra ran to the control panel. One red button blinked. Manual release code REQUIRED. Her hands shook. She entered Kale's birth date. Access denied. She tried their academy graduation code. Access denied. She closed her eyes and entered her own name. Access Jer. NTD. The chamber broke open. Kale fell into her arms. Cold, heavy, alive. Opening scene. Escape tunnel beneath the core. The walls shook. Lights flickered. Kale and Lyra ran through a narrow tunnel. Hot steam hissing from pipes above them. Behind them, the core was collapsing. Black smoke filled the air. The floor trembled beneath their feet. Kale stumbled, nearly fell. Lyra grabbed his arm. "Don't stop, just a little farther." He nodded, face pale, body shaking, not just from pain, but from something else. Fear. Not of dying, of remembering. Flash memory. Kale's POV. Quick flashes, voices in the dark, a masked man. Speaking calmly. "She come for you. She always does. That's what makes this work. A sharp needle, a scream. A deal." Kale blinked. The memory vanished again. Scene. Reaching the outer hangar, they burst into a giant hangar bay deep. In the void's edge, Lyra spotted her ship, still docked. Still working, but something felt wrong. The doors were already open. As if someone had been waiting. The hunter returns. From the shadows stepped a man in black armor. Same cracked helmet. Same cold voice. The stranger, not dead. "Leaving already?" he asked, gun raised. Lyra froze. You said you stayed behind to buy me time." He smiled under the helmet. "I lied." Revelation. The trap. Kale stepped forward, eyes narrowed. "It was you. You sent the signal." The stranger nodded. 6 years. "We waited. You were the bait." She was the hook. Lyra's face turned pale. "You used me to bring him out?" The stranger slowly circled them. "Do you really think the void was hunting him?" "No, it was keeping him. It wanted him to forget." But we needed him to remember, Kale growled. Why? You're a key, the stranger replied, to something buried deeper. Something we can't reach without your mind. Emotional blow. Lyra's trust shattered, Lyra whispered. I believe the signal was from you. Kale looked away. It wasn't. I didn't remember anything when I woke up. But I do now. I remember you. I remember what I lost. She stepped back. Then you walked into this, all of this, because of me? I didn't mean to bring you here, Kale's voice cracked. But I'm glad you came. Lyra's eyes filled with pain, not just from betrayal, but guilt. She raised her gun at the stranger. You don't get to use him again. Fight sequence. Escape under fire. The stranger fired first. Lyra ducked. Kale tackled him. Fists, sparks, plasma. Blasts hitting walls. Kale fought like a soldier reborn, but slower, weaker, still not whole. Lyra grabbed Kale's arm mid-fight. We have to go now. They sprinted to the ship. Doors slammed behind them as they launched. The hangar exploded. Scene aboard the ship. Tension quietly rises again inside the ship. Silence. Kale sat in the dark corner staring at nothing. Lyra patched a burn on her arm. She didn't speak. Not yet. Finally, Kale broke the silence. They said, you'd come for me. But they said something else too. She looked at him. He continued, voice cold. They said you were the one who reported. Me 6 years ago. Opening scene, silence between stars. The ship floated in darkness. No alarms, no blinking lights. Just the soft hum of engines and the space beyond, quiet, wide, endless. Lyra sat in the pilot's seat. Kale stood behind her, arms crossed. Eyes distant. No one spoke. Too much had been said already. Kale's voice, quiet, wounded. I don't know what's real anymore. He said, she didn't turn around. Neither do I. He walked closer. His voice soft. But I remember this. Ship, I remember your voice. I remember you. Lyra finally looked up. Then trust me one last time. The plan, their final mission, the stranger's ship hadn't been fully destroyed. It had broadcasted coordinates to the military, the same people who once tried to erase. Kale were now sending warships into the void to retrieve him, not to rescue. To study. Lyra had one shot left, blow up the old void core relay. Stop the signal and disappear into space. If they failed, Kale would be taken. If they succeeded, they would vanish forever, seen back inside the core's outer ring. They returned to where it all began, a dead satellite field orbiting the edge of the void. As Lyra moved through the old relay controls, Kale stood still, staring at the reflection in a broken screen. His face, familiar, but something inside still felt missing. They changed me, he whispered. I let them. Lyra placed a hand on his chest. Then let me bring you back. The trail confirmed. And rejected? Kale finally asked, the question heavy in the air. Did you give me up 6 years ago? Lyra looked into his eyes. No, her voice didn't shake. But I thought about it. I thought it would be easier, safer. I was scared. She stepped back. If that makes you walk away now. I understand. A long silence. Kale reached for her hand. You didn't run then. I'm not running now. Final sequence, infiltration and sacrifice. The control tower was surrounded by old security drones. Lyra and Kale fought side by side, smooth, sharp, like old times. Inside, she uploaded a virus to the relay system. Suddenly, the stranger's voice echoed one last time, through the comms, through the system. Even if you kill the signal, others will come. They always do, Kale replied, eyes cold. Then we'll make sure they find nothing. Lyra armed the self-destruct on the relay tower. Timer, 90 seconds. Escape to nowhere, they ran back to the ship, but just before they boarded, a missile struck nearby. Kale shielded Lyra with his body. The impact threw them both. Smoke, blood, fire. She woke up to alarms and broken glass. Kale lay a few feet away, unconscious, bleeding from the head. Final choice. He saved her. He opened his eyes. Saw her trying to drag him. She was crying. Don't do this. He placed a data drive in her hand, the last recording. The map to what was left of him. The truth about the void. You saved me once, he said weakly. Now let me save You! He locked her in the escape pod. Dot pressed the launch button. She screamed, hit the glass, begged. He smiled. Don't forget who you are. And then the core exploded behind him. The relay was gone. So was Kale. Final scene, 1 year later. Unknown moon. Lyra stood alone on a quiet moon, staring up at a red sky. She now lived hidden, with no uniform, no orders, no name. Just the drive. And Kale's last message. If anyone finds this, tell her I never forgot. I just got lost. She closed her eyes. Me too, but maybe in the silence. They had both finally been found.